action. That's what we say on movie sets. All right, hi guys, I'm Kathy Sue Holtorf. I am 32 years old. I've been acting since I was 4 years old. In my career, I've been in over 100 plays and musicals. From the age of 4 to 17, I did plays, I did musicals, I did commercials, I did some modeling in some weird art magazines, which was fun. I was a model for a mirror once. Tell me how you model that. I don't know. You look into it, I guess? I guess I did a good job. So I was in Wisconsin until I was 17. And growing up, I had no idea what filmmaking was. I just saw actors on the screen, so I was like, oh yeah, that's what I want. I want to be an actor. Because that's what filmmaking is, right? Is it's, what you see on the screen. I had no idea how much happens behind the scenes. So when I was 17 years old, I decided to go to college at Catawba College in North Carolina. Catawba was not for me. It was a small private liberal arts school. I was double majoring in philosophy and acting. I did not end up liking either of their programs, so I actually dropped out. So something that I want you guys to take away from this today, from this presentation, is that no path is right or wrong for anyone. What you choose is what is right for you, as long as you're working hard, determined, kind, and leading with a purpose. So throughout this presentation, I'll share little bits and pieces with you about the times that I've struggled and the times that things have been hard. And throughout all of the times that things have been hard, the thing that has carried me through is understanding and knowing what my purpose is. So no matter what career you're going into, whether it's filmmaking, whether it's veterinary school, whether it's psychology, whether it's, I don't know any other careers, but one of those other ones, it's not always going to be easy. But when you know why you are doing what you are doing, that will carry you through the hard times. And in these exact hard times is where growth exists. So I've told my dad this before, and he doesn't believe me. I tell him that I don't regret anything. He says, yeah, but what about the mistakes you've made? No, my mistakes are what has made me stronger. Every mistake, every challenge every obstacle that you face is the universe giving you an opportunity to put a new tool in the toolbox that will help you through life. Okay, so when I was 17 years old, I moved to North Carolina, went to college, dropped out of college pretty quickly. I wasn't super happy with where I was that year. I was probably 18, 19 years old, not much older than you guys. By the way, I directed my first main stage show when I was 14 years old. So you guys right now are capable of whatever it is you want to do. Who has a smartphone? Of course, everybody, right? So you guys are in a really lucky place. You guys can start putting together your filmmaking reel tonight. If you guys want to make movies, there were enough people in here that raised their hand in different departments that if you guys all talk to each other, you guys could make a movie this weekend and put it on YouTube and begin creating your reel. Who knows what a reel is? Cool, okay, totally fine. A reel is basically a combination, a mashup of different pieces of work. So I'm going to show you guys one of my reels. This is kind of old. Has anyone heard of Smosh on YouTube? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. So I've directed and produced a bunch of stuff for Smosh. So you'll see some Smosh stuff in here, including, do you guys know Keith Lee Jr. in Smosh? No? He's in Smosh. He's fantastic. I've directed, produced individual music videos for him as well. So here you're going to see just a mashup of different music videos, feature films, commercials, short films that I've directed, produced, most likely shot, and almost definitely edited as well. Then we'll talk about it for a little bit. All right, here we go. So this was a short film. That was me just going out with the camera. This is a commercial for a yoga studio. The music that you're hearing is music from a short film that I had scored, so it is original music. Music video. Music video done with AI, which I'll tell you guys about. Drone music video. I use drones in almost everything I do. Comedy short. My hand with the bad nail polish right there. That one was on BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed has featured probably 5 or 6 different pieces that I've done. Smash. That was the show I produced for Smash Games called What Are Those? Super fun. Feature film. Music video, more Smash. are all just some clips from different things that I had done. Some of my favorite clips, though. Another film. More dramatic stuff. AI recursive art, what you're seeing over her face. This shot you're about to see is one of my favorite shots that I've ever done. Love. And this was purely by accident, but it ended up looking this cool. Alright, Jojo, bless you. So that's the real variation of a bunch of different projects that I've done and worked on. So I walked into a news station one day because I was sick of being a waitress and I just wanted to do something in media. It didn't matter to me what exactly it was, I just had to be in media. So I walked into a news station with no college degree, and the news manager happened to be walking through the main lobby when I asked the secretary if they were hiring. Now, this is a combination of determination, work ethic, as well as being in the right place at the right time. So that day I got interviewed and I ended up getting hired at that news station, again with no college degree. I understand that I'm lucky and that I'm blessed, and I also followed that up with very hard work. So I started doing graphics for Good Morning Carolina. You guys know when you watch the news and you see the graphics over the shoulder, and you see like the lower third that says, "This is who's talking." Yeah, can I get some head nods? Woo, yeah. So I started just doing that, just designing these OTS graphics. And eventually I started asking the news manager, hey, I want to take a camera out. I want to go shoot stuff. I grew up with an artistic father who was a painter. He is a painter. He would tell me that a film is nothing but a series of single images, of paintings, one after the other. So he would talk to me about the subject in the frame, right? And like where the eyes would draw and what emotionally is happening in these moments. So I was looking at cinematography and using a camera as that, as a painting. As every single shot is a painting. So I started shooting news that way. So when I would be finished with Good Morning Carolina around 9 a.m., I would grab a camera, and for no extra money, I had to do this for free because they didn't have any extra money to pay me to continue on after I had just worked 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. every single day. So I was just volunteering, and I would go out with the reporters and I would shoot their packages, right? And I just loved it. I just loved having my hands on the camera. And eventually, the other news station saw some of my footage. They figured out who I was, and they called me. They said, hey, do you want to be a reporter? I was like, oh my goodness, well, I guess so. I guess yes, I do. Okay, guys, I had no communications degree. I had no journalism degree. This was from hard work, perseverance, and I listened all the time. Every single set that I had been on, even though at this point I've been on probably over 1,000 different film sets, I am still always listening and always learning. Something that I derived from my education, that I bet you guys are getting here as well, is the desire for more knowledge, is curiosity. And in storytelling, we need a curiosity to drive us. Whether it's a curiosity for our fellow human being, a curiosity to learn more about something. Part of why I wanted to act so bad was because I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to be a lawyer, I wanted to be all of these different professions and learn about all these different things. And to me, acting was a way that I could actually get to experience all those things. So the times that I've played a doctor on screen or something like that, I do a lot of research and I get to learn about that. I've studied in 9 different languages over the course of my career because I've had to speak different languages in different projects. I went to Prague for a project not that long ago, so I learned Czech before I went to Prague. So filmmaking has been this tool for me that has enabled me to continue to expand my curiosity about the world around me and how to connect to human beings. So something that was on the letter before we came and spoke here today was, what do you love about your job? My job has never felt like a job. I am very fortunate. I feel like I've gotten to play my entire career. You know, when I have kids, I'm gonna be on set with my baby in a little bundle still directing. And when I'm 75 years old, after so many of my friends have retired, I'm still gonna be on set because I love what I do. I love telling stories. One of my favorite parts about what I do is that I get the opportunity to imagine entirely new worlds with people that I love and care about. My business partner, my producing partner, she's the CEO of the company, I'm the CCO of the company, Chief Creative Officer. I'm still freelance, I'm still independent. Now, all of that being said, it's not easy, right? Like, no creative job is ever gonna be easy. I've been freelance, independent for 10 years. There have been weeks where I haven't gotten a single paycheck in a couple of weeks. I'm like, oh, guess I'm eating ramen noodles as a 28-year-old. That's cool. And those times, we call them either feast or famine, right? And ultimately, to get yourself through the period of famine, whether it's an emotional famine or an actual, the paycheck hasn't come in yet, you need to know why you're doing this. Whatever career you choose, know what your purpose is. Because in the hard times, in the challenges, that is when we need to return to our purpose and say, why am I doing this again? When you're about to break down, when you're in the middle of, a production budget flies away, your storyboard flies out of your car and, the papers get everywhere, when you don't get cast in that thing that you auditioned for that you worked so hard on. You need your purpose to drive you through, whether you do filmmaking or not. Oh, I forgot where I was. Oh God, you guys, this has been such a fun day. So, eventually I left the news. Have you guys seen Cinderella Story with Lucy Hale? Okay, I was her stand-in for that movie. I used to have black hair and we're the same size. So one day, while I was still working at the news station, I got a call from my casting director friend and she said, hey, are you available to come and be Lucy Hale's stand-in today? I was like, man, I just got off work, it's 5 a.m. and you want me on set in 2 hours? Sure. So that day I went to set. I had no idea how to be a stand-in. Do you guys know what a stand-in does? Okay, so a stand-in is the person that stands in the position where the actor will be standing when they're setting up all the cameras and all the lights. I had no idea how to be a stand-in, or that I was just supposed to literally stand there and let them light around me. So I did my best. Always do your best. I went above and beyond. I memorized her lines. I did all of the movements. So when I went to set and I started just acting as her, the DP stopped me and said, what are you doing? He was a British man, very nice. What are you doing, Kathy? I was like, oh, I thought this would be helpful. I was like 19, 20 at the time, maybe 21, 22. He said, who told you to do that? I said, oh, no one. And he said, do you want to stay on? Do you want to keep working? And I was like, yeah. And he said, all right, stay with us for the rest of the month. So that night, I went into the news station, I quit my job, and I never went back. The next day, I went back to set. It's scary. It was so scary. And by the time I was on Cinderella Story for a month, as soon as that film was done, I was like, uh-oh, I don't have a job now. What do people do in between the movies? So I just kind of started looking around. Eventually, about a week and a half later, oh, hello? Oh, the battery's dead. That's cool. I'll just yell. Right? It's what you have to do on film sets. You have to project. I don't think that there's any fame or glory in the hustle mentality of, I only slept 45 minutes last night. Look at how awesome I am. No, lead a healthy life. Get your sleep. Drink your water. Eat healthy food, right? Like, balance yourself a little bit, which I have not always done. After Piranha 3DD was over, a hurricane came into Wilmington. I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. A hurricane came into Wilmington, and I had to evacuate. I evacuated to Charlotte, North Carolina, which is about a couple hours inland. I stayed with my friend, who's a grip. Who's seen the movie The Hunger Games? Cool, it's a great film, right? I worked on it. So this particular night, my grip friend, who's the guy that hangs up the lights and stuff like that,
said, why don't you come and stay with me? All of the camera department from the Hunger Games are going out together tonight. Why don't you come out with us? I hadn't gotten a job on that film set. That night, I went to the bar. I met Woody Harrelson, Jennifer Lawrence, and Gary Ross, who's the director of the first Hunger Games. That night, Gary Ross offered me a position. So I share this with you guys. So I ended up finishing out the Hunger Games after that. I share this with you guys because whatever kindness you have in you, whatever is good about you, make sure that you share that with the world. Because that's why I got hired. Gary Ross had not seen my resume. He had no idea who I was, except that I was friends with someone else that was on the set. And because of that, and because I approached with kindness and calm, because I was, standing in front of Jennifer Lawrence, Woody Harrelson, which was a little nerve-wracking, as I'm sure you guys can imagine. Do you guys know who Woody Harrelson and Jennifer Lawrence are?
No.
Cool. Was that sarcasm coming from somewhere?
No, I don't know.
Oh, that was real? Okay, they're the stars of the Hunger Games.
Oh, I don't know.
Hey Mitch or something? I don't know. So I did the Hunger Games, and I've been out here, so we have about 7 more minutes. I've been out here for about 8 years. In the past 8 years, I have worked nearly every single department on a film set. From art department to hair and makeup, to wardrobe, to writing, to directing, to producing, to gripping. I gripped on a feature once. I had to block out the sun, which was amazing and was such a rush. And I share this with you guys because there is no one path to being a filmmaker. There's no one path. Whatever is right for you is the path that you should take. My parents were disappointed that I dropped out of college, and I swear to you, it wasn't until last week that they were like, oh, now we get it. I'm like, okay guys, I'm 32 and I've been doing this for 12 years. But it took them that long to get it. But it's okay. What I want you guys to take away from this is to trust yourself, to trust your instinct, to trust your intuition. Pay close attention to the things that make you feel good. When I was little, when I was acting on stage, I knew that that made me feel good. And I followed that and I ran with it as far and as fast as I could. And I want you guys to take that with you today. Pay attention to what makes your soul feel fulfilled and the people that make your soul feel fulfilled. Another one of my favorite things about the film industry is the collaboration. It's the ability to sit with people that I creatively respect and admire, like my best friend and business partner, and for us to get to create a world together. Literally, like 2 months ago, we were sitting on our couch at the house, and we said, hey, what about if there was a show like this and this? All right, cool. And then I wrote it, and now Netflix is interested. Right? And it's legitimately, and I don't know if they're actually going to get it. I share this with you because you never know what's going to happen, and you have a story inside of you. And whether you want to tell it through filmmaking, songwriting, whatever it is, you have a story in you that might help someone else along the way. I very firmly believe that it is our obligation and our duty as creatives, as filmmakers, as artists of any type, to reflect humanity back upon itself. Throughout all of history, at least since the Industrial Revolution, there is one industry that has not seen a recession or a depression, and it is the entertainment industry. Because no matter what else is going on, when I'm feeling sad, I don't know about you guys, but I order a pizza and turn on The Office, you know? That is how we reflect and how we take a breath away from the chaos that is life. I would encourage you guys not to be afraid of making mistakes. I encourage you guys to not be afraid to fail. It is in my failures that I've learned and grown the most. It is in the pieces of art that I honestly, some of the pieces that are in my reel today, I don't like them. I'm like, oh no, I could have done that better. Your tastes for your art and your talent may not always match up. And that's okay. And you may be disappointed in something that you've done, but learn from it. Because then there's no such thing as failure. Right? When you find growth in the failures, they end up being successes.